Thailand is opening the country with the 3 groups of the tourists. 1, test and go for no quarantine. 2 is for fully vaccinated, they're not in a group of no quarantine. And the last one is for non-vaccination. In this video is for non-vaccination. No vaccine, no problem. Welcome to Thailand! สวัสดีค่ะ It's me Teya Suchira. If you want to know more about Thailand, please make sure to subscribe and hit the bell so you will not miss anything about my country. I think you know that Thailand is starting to open more tourists to visit Thailand. First of all, let me tell you, please don't feel upset like, hey, how about non-vaccination? Can you come to Thailand? Of course, everyone can come to Thailand, but of course, Thailand have the rule to protect the safety for people in a country. So the rule that Thailand set for you is like, when you come here, you need to do a quarantine. So this kind of programs is called Entry Thailand under the Alternative Quarantine or AQ. And this program calls Happy Quarantine. Let's see if you're going to be happy or not. Quarantine for this group is like you have to stay inside the hotel. But from the 1st of November this year, they kind of relax for you guys who come for quarantine to be able to go out of your room and just use facilities in your hotel room. But just only you're not allowed to go out of the hotel. So it's not quite bad, isn't it? If you just choose the right hotel quarantine, I think you're going to be less feeling uncomfortable, I believe. I mean, if you have to be in your hotel for too many days, only in a hotel room and not allowed to go out, it could be a little bit difficult for some of you guys, I mean. But the quarantine for this group, we have 3 types of quarantine days. First one is 7 days quarantine and 10 days quarantine and 14 days quarantine. 7 days quarantine group is for a person who are fully vaccinated. But why you stay for 7 days quarantine? In case you don't enter to the blue zone area. So the blue zone area, it has 17 provinces. Let me tell you where is 17 provinces of blue zone. So again, you're not entering to the blue zone, but you are going to enter outside the blue zone. You need to quarantine first before you going anywhere. This is for 7 days quarantine. Another one is 10 days quarantine. 10 days quarantine is for a person who are not vaccinated and you come by flight, or the one who's not in a type of the list of vaccine which is approved by the Ministry of Public Health. You have to do a quarantine for 10 days before you go out. And another type of quarantine is 14 days quarantine. 14 days quarantine is for any of you guys who travel to Thailand by land. If you come by land and you're not vaccinated or you get a different vaccine type, you have to do a quarantine for 14 days. Just because of that, they found that anybody who enter Thailand by land usually still have a lot of high risk of Covid19. That is why it's a little bit longer than other groups. So if you have a plan to come to Thailand, what you have to prepare to do? First of all, you have to check first where you're going to. If you come to blue zone area and you are not vaccinated, you can just choose the hotel which is called Alternative Quarantine Hotel. The price of Alternative Quarantine Hotel is a package. And this package is already included with the transportation, which is going to pick you up at the airport. Is going to include with the RT-PCR test during your quarantine time in the hotel. And also is usually included with all the food, all the meal, because you're not allowed to go out of the hotel. But however, this price, the package price, is really depending on each hotel's package. So you may need to ask each hotel package what kind of room that they have. And after you make a booking with the hotel, you just have to pay first. You have to pay and then you're going to get a confirmation letter. You have to use this confirmation letter to fill in a form of Thailand Pass later. I'm going to talk about it later. And also you need to have a health insurance which is include and covering COVID-19 as well. And the coverage is at least 50,000 US dollar. And then you can have the insurance from your country, or you can buy insurance in Thailand. And if you don't know who to buy insurance with, you can buy insurance with me. Wow! I also sell insurance as well. Anyway, and after you prepare all that document, you can just start to apply Thailand Pass. Thailand Pass, in case you don't know what it is, it's just like a health passport, should I say that? Or it's just like a ticket for entering Thailand. So if you don't have that kind of Thailand Pass, you will not allowed to come to Thailand. Just because of when you apply Thailand Pass, you're going to get a QR code. Once when you are just about to leave, you check in at the airport, they're going to request you to show QR code before traveling to Thailand. And that is why you really need to apply Thailand Pass after all of your document is ready. Another thing that you have to be ready and just be aware is 72 hours before you fly to Thailand, you need to have RT-PCR test to show at the airport before you departure that you are COVID-19 free. And then you just process to fly to Thailand. In case you're going to fly to Phuket, for example, you want to do a quarantine in Phuket for 10 nights, you just have to get a flight which is direct flight. Direct flight means you can change a flight in another country, but you're not allowed to change a flight in Bangkok and then change to the domestic flight to Phuket. That one is not allowed. The reason is if you change the flight in Bangkok, it's not different from enter to Thailand at Bangkok. And then you have to do quarantine in Bangkok. So if you want to go to do a quarantine in Phuket, you have to buy the ticket which is go directly to Phuket. Or in case you have to change the flight in, for example, Qatar or South Korea, for example, you can do it. For example, London, Qatar, Phuket. That is possible. Or you can change the flight in Dubai and come to Phuket. That is possible, but not from your country, change in Bangkok and Bangkok, Phuket. This one is not okay. Talking about Thailand Pass, I honestly don't have a lot of information for you because Thailand Pass is not operated yet. It's going to starting to let you guys to apply Thailand Pass on the 1st of November. And also I heard the rumor, they said that it's going to start to open on the 2nd of November, so I'm not sure about it. So information of what you have to fill for applying a Thailand Pass, I think everyone in Thailand, also every of you guys, will know at the same time with me as well. So let's see what they're going to require. But if it's not different from COE or a certificate of entry, it's just only a general information that they need to know. For example, like your flight ticket, when you're going to arrive, and also when you're going to depart. But in case you come to Thailand with another type of visa, like retired visa or merit visa, that is different. So when you fly to Thailand, when you arrive Thailand, you're going to get the first RT-PCR test at the hotel. And for the kid who's younger than 6 years old, they're going to test by a saliva. For the hotel that you want to make a booking for alternative quarantine hotel, it has to be a hotel which is located not too far from the airport, not longer than 2 hours. So you can have a look the location where you want to do a quarantine. If it's in a blue zone, if you don't have to travel for longer than 2 hours, you can go to do a quarantine there. For example, I'm talking about in case you want to do a quarantine in Pattaya, you can do it. In Pattaya or in Bangkok, you can do it. In Phuket, you can do it, or in Phang Nga. But I don't think Phang Nga has alternative quarantine hotel. I don't think so. So to think easily, I think 3 provinces is quite easy for you to go for 10 days quarantine for you guys who are not vaccinated. And also when you get to the hotel, you don't have to upload application because you are in the quarantine area. So you don't have to upload any application, or in case they would require you to upload application, it's possibly be the cost application. So don't worry about download application. They're going to inform to you when you arrive the hotel. Just because of you are a type of the quarantine in the hotel, usually the hotel staff has to report directly to the Ministry of Public Health. You don't have to worry about it much. So on the first day when you arrive the hotel, you are not allowed to go out until you hear the result of RT-PCR test. If it's turned to negative, it means that you are allowed to go out and use a facility of the hotel as long as the time you have to quarantine in that hotel. Which is good, right? I think they are starting to relax more compared with before. At the beginning of Thailand, when we start to let people to come back to Thailand, people had to stay for 14 days without going out of the hotel room. It was difficult. For you guys who have to quarantine for 10 days, they're going to do another RT-PCR test on the day 8 or day 9. And for any of you guys who have to do a quarantine for 14 days, they're going to do another PCR test on the day 12 or day 13. The QR code from the beginning when you travel to Thailand, your QR code is going to be yellow color. But after you complete staying in a hotel, they're going to authorize your QR code to be green color. And the green QR code means you are free! After you finish the quarantine in the hotel and you are free, you can travel anywhere like everyone in Thailand, same as Thai people, same as other tourists. But before you travel to each places, for example, like you want to take a flight, you may have to study or get enough information first at the destination that you're going to, what they require you to do. For example, like if you catch the plane, you probably have to learn, you probably have to see first that the flight you're going to travel with, what they require you, maybe RT-PCR test or maybe ATK kit test. Then you need to have the test to show when you check in with the airline, which is really depending on each airline. So you just have to study first what you have to do. The rest of that is the same as what Thai people live our life today. It's like we have to be careful living our life. During the coronavirus, we still have to clean our hand, we still have to wear a mask. Sorry about it. Thailand here, when you go out in public, everybody have to wear a mask. And also if you are in your privacy room or anywhere, or you go to the restaurant, you have to eat. Of course, you have to remove the mask, right? Otherwise, how can you eat it, right? Yeah, so that is all. So I don't know if you are okay with that. You can see how you feel about it. This is what the rule for Thailand. And of course, anyone who's not vaccinated, you are welcome. SMS Thailand. Not everyone have got a vaccine yet, and some people don't want to get a vaccine, and some cannot get vaccine as well. So we totally understand and don't feel anything different. We are all the same. So this is all information that I have for you today. I hope you feel a bit more comfortable or feel confident to come and travel to Thailand. This video, I make it specially inspired from my beautiful group of friends who study yoga and Reiki with me in Nong Khai, which is by the border of Thailand, Laos. So I really want to support them because many of them want to come back to Thailand and visit our masters. So I hope that any of my friends who watch this video, I do for you. And also the rest of you guys who are my friends in this channel as well. If you feel like this information is useful for you, you are more than welcome to share to your friends. And also, if you appreciate it with my video and you feel like you want to support my channel, you want to buy me a coffee, you can have a look in description how to buy me a coffee. And for today, thank you so much for watching until the end. I'll see you next time very soon. สวัสดีค่ะ